Brace yourself for some ungroovy news as STARZ has officially canceled Ash vs. Evil Dead. Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. It just so happens it happens much more sooner than later. Ash vs. Evil Dead has been canceled, and this means there's no season 4, which is kind of a bummer, but we kind of saw it coming. If you've been watching the series since the very first season, which I have, you notice it's been a bit of a mixed season. There were some good things, there were some bad things, but ultimately throughout it all, I couldn't help but think that maybe this was something that would have been best served in just movie form instead of the season form. Some stuff was dragged out, maybe longer than it should have been. And in season 2 especially, it seemed that things were a little bit too crammed and compact until you hit the finale of the second season. Third season, I haven't watched it yet, but the second season really didn't give me anything to make me want to watch the third season, so there was that. Everybody's bummed, and I can understand why, because everybody loves Evil Dead. The first Evil Dead is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but I don't think the show did a good job of representing the franchise as a whole anyway, although, like I said before, there was some very good moments in between all the carnage from season 1, season 2, and I'm sure there's some of that in season 3. Bruce Campbell don't seem to be too down in the dumps about it, as he did release this statement on Twitter. I'd like to think that maybe the door is open for him to at least do one more movie to wrap up the whole Ash thing, or at least I hope there are. I like the remake a whole lot, and maybe if they go as far as doing a movie about it, maybe they can bring back Jane Levy and kind of combine the two worlds. That to me would be the perfect way to end it, but I do not know if that's what they're going to do. We're kind of hitting the decline now of the horror craze that was going wild there for a while. We had American Horror Story. We had The Walking Dead. We got Fear of the Walking Dead. We had Ash vs. Evil Dead. We had all these shows, and either the ratings for most of them now are in the dump or they've been canceled. So we could be hitting the down point now for horror television shows. I hope that's not the case, but this seems to be a bit of an indication that we're kind of on that decline. Maybe eventually things will come back up and we'll get more shows again. But until then, I'd say this much. Appreciate any horror show that's on that you watch that is still on, because if this trend keeps up, we may not have many left when it's all over.